No matter how much you know, how sharp your mind is, how many truths you've uncovered, intelligence, far from opening every door, can become your greatest curse. Have you ever wondered why the brightest minds often walk alone? Why those who truly grasp the mechanics of this world tend to drift into isolation? It's not a coincidence. And if you're someone who feels every conversation becomes a tightrope, where each word must be carefully chosen to avoid discomfort, then listen closely. Arthur Schopenhauer saw it clearly. Intelligence is not always an advantage in the world of men. What feels like clarity to you feels like a threat to them. What is pure logic to you becomes a blade that cuts through their pride. Because truth, spoken unfiltered, humiliates. And most people aren't searching for truth. They're searching for comfort. Think about it. How many times have you said something obvious, only to be met with cold eyes? How often have you corrected someone, only to receive not gratitude, but resentment? Raw intelligence, when revealed carelessly, breeds envy. It invites rejection. It makes people uncomfortable. And here lies the tragic mistake of the wise, believing that knowing is enough. It's not. You must know how to wield intelligence, not as a banner in the wind, but as a blade in the shadows. Schopenhauer called it the art of playing the fool. Not because you are a fool, but because at times pretending to be less than you are is the masterstroke. It's not about suppressing your mind. It's about using it with precision. Want respect? Don't boast. Want to be heard? Don't correct. Want influence? Don't intimidate. Let others believe they reach the truth on their own. Look around you. Those who rise in society aren't always the most brilliant, but those who navigate the intricate web of human egos with finesse, those who master the art of subtlety, those who know that truth is a double-edged sword, and that the envy of mediocrity can become a wall too high to climb. But this doesn't mean you must shrink. This isn't a call to mediocrity. On the contrary, true intelligence doesn't waste itself in fruitless arguments or battles of ego. It knows when to speak and when silence is more powerful, when to unleash its full force, and when to wear the mask of simplicity. Imagine this. You're in a meeting. Someone says something catastrophically wrong. Your instinct urges you to correct them, expose their ignorance. But pause. What's the point? Will you change their mind? Number, you'll only trigger their resentment, because no one enjoys feeling small. No one likes being wrong. So you smile, you nod, and you let it slide. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Because not every mistake needs correcting. Sometimes the greatest move is letting someone drown in their own ignorance. Schopenhauer said it plainly. Fools have an edge over the intelligent, not because they're superior, but because the world is designed for them. Mediocrity is comfortable. It doesn't threaten. It doesn't shine too brightly. The mediocre gather together. They shield each other. They promote one another. But the truly brilliant, if they don't learn the art of using their mind carefully, end up alone, cut off, misunderstood. And that's the real battlefield. You don't need to surrender to mediocrity, but you also don't need to wage war against it. There's a third path, a silent balance. Feign ignorance when needed. Manipulate expectation. Let them believe you're smaller than you are, only to strike with brilliance when it matters most. History remembers this well. The greatest strategists never showed their power too soon. The smartest players never revealed all their cards. Napoleon, Da Vinci, Tesla. They all understood the silent force behind discretion, the mastery of intelligent manipulation, the subtle brilliance of pretending to be less, to ultimately become more. Because here's the brutal truth. If the world sees you as too brilliant, it will try to dim your light. If they sense too much wisdom in you, they'll aim to humiliate you, show your intellect without filter, and they'll turn against you. Not because you're wrong, but because the human ego cannot bear the weight of someone else's superiority. But if you move with cunning, if you learn to measure your mind, to show just enough to remain approachable without stirring envy, then you hold the reins. No one will anticipate your true power. No one will label you a threat. And when the moment matters most, when timing is everything, you can release your full capacity without resistance. This isn't cowardice. This is strategy. Want to survive in a world ruled by mediocrity? Then master this. Silence, disguise, the art of walking through shadows, and choosing carefully when to step into the light. Uncontrolled intelligence is a burden, but precision-crafted intellect is a weapon. So next time you find yourself among the blind, next time you speak with those who aren't ready for truth, remember, you don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to win every battle. You don't need to correct every error. Only fools exhaust themselves trying to shine at every moment. The wise move differently. They play with time, with perception, with patience. Pretending to be less than you are isn't a betrayal of your intelligence. It's the highest expression of it. But that's just the surface. That's the beginner's layer of this game. If you truly want to master it, you must learn something deeper, the power of strategic invisibility. Ask yourself, who holds real power in history? Those who shout their victories to the world, or those who move in silence? The answer is clear. People fear what they cannot comprehend, and they cannot attack what they do not see. To go unnoticed is to stay unchallenged. No envy, no sabotage, no unnecessary resistance. The wisest in history knew this well. They didn't crave applause. They didn't chase validation. They weren't addicted to recognition. They were the quiet architects, the invisible forces. They made their moves in silence. And by the time the world noticed, the game was already won. This law even governs nature itself. The most lethal predators do not make noise. The snake doesn't hiss before it strikes. The tiger doesn't roar before the kill. The sniper doesn't broadcast his aim before the shot. In the jungle, in war, in life, stealth is power. And here's what's truly profound. The lower your profile, the more freedom you possess. When people don't see you as a threat, they leave you alone. They don't compete with you. They don't conspire against you. While they scramble for the spotlight, you're quietly preparing for the moment that matters. Their mistakes, exposed to the world. Yours, shrouded in silence. When you fail, no one notices. When you succeed, it strikes like thunder from a clear sky. This is how the true game is played. But remember this, invisibility does not mean irrelevance. It's not about disappearing. It's about choosing the right moment to emerge, to be present, not everywhere, but precisely where it counts. Look at the real leaders, the authentic visionaries. They aren't in every debate. They're not arguing on every corner. They don't chase attention like the desperate. They dwell in their own world, building, observing, waiting. And when the time is right, they move. Most people squander their energy trying to prove their worth. They crave recognition. They seek validation. They want to be seen as intelligent, as important. But in this desperate display, they expose themselves too much. Their mistakes become visible, their plans predictable, their moves easily blocked. Do you want to truly master this game? Then learn to play with time. Don't rush. Don't reveal your entire arsenal in the first skirmish. Observe, analyze, measure, detect weaknesses, uncover intentions. And when you finally strike, let it be so precise, so unstoppable, that no one can stand in your way. Patience is the most underestimated weapon in this world. Most are impatient. They demand instant results. They seek quick victories, and that's exactly where they fail. A patient strategist, one who knows how to wait, always holds the advantage over the impulsive. Napoleon said it best, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. This applies to life itself. People constantly reveal their weaknesses, their insecurities, their cracks. Your only task? Wait, watch. If you want real power, stop worrying about being seen. Stop chasing validation. Stop flaunting what you know. Start thinking like a true strategist. While others exhaust themselves proving their value, you'll be one step ahead, invisible, unreachable, unstoppable. And now we enter the most fascinating part of the game, the control of perception. Because pretending to be a fool is not just defense, it's a weapon. And invisibility is not just a refuge. It's a tactic to shape reality itself in your favor. Let me be brutally clear. The world doesn't treat you as you are. It treats you as it perceives you. It doesn't matter how capable, wise, or brilliant you are. If people see you as a threat, they will isolate you. If they see you as a pawn, they will use you. If they see you as a resource, they will exploit you. If they see you as ordinary, they will ignore you. But here's the secret. You choose the perception you project. You don't have to be a genius in everyone's eyes. You don't have to be the strongest, the smartest, the best. You only need to appear as the moment demands. People cling to the childish illusion that human interactions are sincere, that when someone talks to you, they do so without hidden agendas. But that's naive. Every interaction is a power exchange. Always. Even the simplest conversation has a dynamic. Who controls it? Who drives the narrative? Who influences whom? The one who masters perception masters reality. Look at the true players of this world. They aren't the loudest. They don't demand the spotlight. They control the story, quietly, invisibly. They let others believe they're in charge, while pulling the strings behind the scenes. Subtlety is the key. Have you noticed how some people get others to do exactly what they want, without it ever seeming like a demand? How some impose ideas, without force, without pressure? That's no accident. It's a skill. And here's the difference between those who win and those who lose. The intelligent believe they win by proving they're right. The wise win by making others believe they came to the conclusion themselves. This is where the art of pretending to be a fool becomes truly dangerous. It's not just about avoiding conflict. It's about guiding others, without them knowing, making them think the idea was theirs. The decision was theirs. The power was always in their hands. Because if you believe intelligence is just knowing more, you've barely scratched the surface. True intelligence is the power to move the world according to your will, without the world realizing it. And to do this, you must master the art of indirect suggestion. Think about that. The most dangerous move you can make is no move at all. What would you truly prefer? To win an argument or to shape the outcome without ever uttering a word? That's the difference between arrogance and mastery. Arrogance demands recognition. Mastery only demands results. Because here is the most fascinating truth. People never question the ideas they believe are their own. Try to convince someone directly, and their ego rises up. They resist, they defend, they shut down. But plant a subtle seed, a suggestion, not an order, a question, not a command. Leave quiet footprints in their mind, and they will reach your conclusion, believing it was theirs all along. And when that happens, resistance disappears. This is the art of indirect suggestion. Not a trick, but a form of power. And when paired with strategic invisibility in the guise of innocence, you become untouchable. Because here's the secret no one wants to admit. True influence is invisible. If they realize they're being guided, you've already lost. Real manipulation doesn't feel like force. It feels like free will. Look at history's greatest strategists. They didn't argue. They didn't shout. They didn't need to. They made others believe they were in control, while quietly pulling every string. So learn to plant doubt without imposing truth. Ask, don't command. Offer choices, all leading where you want them to go. And then withdraw, just as they believe the victory is theirs. Because when a man believes he's won, he lets down his guard, and in that soft moment, you win the war. This is the highest form of social intelligence. It separates those who dominate the world from those who watch it pass them by. Unrestrained intelligence breeds enemies, but restrained intelligence builds empires. So ask yourself, do you want to be the loudest voice in the room, or the one the room unknowingly dances for? Because the world isn't won by the smartest, but by those who know when to be smart and how to remain unseen. And all of this, the fool's mask, the invisibility, the perception game, the patience, the restraint, it all leads to something greater, untouchability, not physical distance, but psychological distance. A stillness so complete, no one can provoke you, manipulate you, or define you. Think of the most influential minds in history. They didn't chase acceptance. They didn't defend themselves. They didn't react to noise. They were unmoved. Because the harsh truth is this: if the world can touch you, it controls you. If you react, you're a puppet. If you seek validation, you're vulnerable. If you constantly feel the urge to explain yourself, you've already lost. But if you can move silently, influence without being seen, act without reacting, then no one can stop you. Because the world is built for the reactive and destroyed by the strategic. You already know this. Something deep inside always has. This is just a language for what you've always felt. And now you stand at a crossroads. You can return to the noise, argue, defend, seek, prove, be another predictable actor in someone else's script. Or you can step back, observe, withdraw, control the timing, the tone, the terrain. Choose when to act and when to disappear. Become unreadable, unpredictable, untouchable. Because the most dangerous players are the ones whose moves are never seen until it's too late. If you've truly understood what's been said here, leave one phrase below: silence is my advantage. So I'll know you're not just listening, you're already becoming something else. Subscribe, not for more noise, but for deeper strategy. Because what's coming isn't for the many, it's for the few, the ones who no longer need to be seen, to win. And remember, those who make noise never see it coming. Those who advance in silence do.